Concept number 6, quadratic inequalities. So there are some steps we need to follow in order for us to be able to solve and graph quadratic inequalities. You're going to have to graph these. So now inequalities, if you remember from algebra, linear inequalities, you had a line, it was either solid or dashed, and you had to shade either above it or below it, depending on if it has less than or greater than. Quadratic inequalities involve a parabola. It could be going up or it could be going down. So determining where to shade is a little bit trickier. It's not just above or below because that curve kind of throws us off. So there's some steps we need to follow that will help us get there. So step number 1, find the y-intercept and the zeros. And remember, the zeros are where it crosses the x-axis. We know how to find the zeros. We've been solving quadratics for a while now. So you can use your calculator to generate a table of values. That's pretty easy. And then you're going to graph it. So for less than or greater than signs, you're going to use a dashed line and a solid line for or anything with or equal to in it. Okay? So finally, use a test point to determine where to shade. And we're usually going to use 0, 0. That's a really easy point to determine where to shade. So now over here, if I have some greater than or equal to or greater than, typically I'm going to shade above. Less than or equal to, I'm going to shade below. This is just for reference. We'll see if this actually helps us in a little bit. So let's try number 1. Draw a little bit of line so I don't cross over into the other guy. So we have y is greater than x squared plus 2x plus 1. So first of all, find the y-intercept. The y-intercept is at 1 right here. And the zeros, I think I can probably factor this guy. I know that 1 times 1 is 1 and 1 plus 1 is 2. So this is really the same as x plus 1 times x plus 1. So what that means is it only has one solution. It has one solution at 1. So what I like to do is I like to draw a little number line, put 0, and then my solution's at -1, because if I go x plus 1 equals 0, I get x equals -1. All right. So now I know this is a dashed line because this is a greater than. So if you remember doing inequalities a while ago, usually on the number line, I put a open circle. So we're going to put an open circle to tell us that's a dashed line. So to determine where to shade, well, we know that the parabola is going to look like this, right? It's going to come down here. It's going to be a dashed line. So I'm just going to kind of rough sketch it a little bit. It's a dashed line. I need to know, am I going to shade above the parabola or below the parabola? So I'm going to use my test point 0, 0. 0, 0 is right here. It's below the parabola. If 0, 0 works, then I'm going to shade out here. If it doesn't work, that tells me I'm going to shade on the inside. So let's check. Check 0, 0. We don't even really need the table of values, did we? This one was pretty simple. So let's just plug it in. Well, 0 greater than 1. Is that true? No, it is not true. So I have to shade inside the parabola. And that's it. Makes a lot of sense. This one is pretty easy. So let's try this one. Y is greater than or equal to -x squared minus 6x minus 4. Now, I don't think I can factor this. I don't know what multiplies to 4 and adds to 6. So I'm going to have to use a calculator to determine a table of values. So let's pause this video and I'll come back with a table of values for you.